Hi, everybody. Welcome to Pace Studio on the Road. We're live in Atlanta right now at the SweetWater Brewery with Emily Scott Robinson. Emily Scott Robinson, it's wonderful to meet you. Thanks for doing this.
Hey.
Isn't that gratifying how the applause sounds in this cavern
It's amazing.
of a room?
It sounds like 50 people.
Yeah.
And it is. It is 50 people.
Yes, indeed.
It's
There will
fine.
be a good, there's a good opportunity for people to see you live and not on the internet, but actually in person tonight at Eddie's Attic. So thank you very much for coming through and doing this with us on show day.
My pleasure. It's so good to be here.
Yeah, congratulations to you because American Siren just came out into the world and we're going to hear 4 songs from it right now. What's happening first?
The first song I'm going to play is Things You Learn the Hard Way. Be careful with that bottle when you have your first drink. The pull that it'll have on you is stronger than you think. Don't speed through a small town or push an empty tank. And when that farmer stops to give you gas, be sure to tell him thanks. Always check the oil in your 20-year-old car before you leave for college, or you won't make it very far. Things you learn the hard way, some lessons you can't teach until you're living through them. The wisdom's out of reach. Things you learn the hard way. Things you learn the hard way. Don't get married in a church called Mother of Our Sorrows. 'Cause if it don't feel right today, it won't feel right tomorrow. A baby will not be enough to get a man to stay. 'Cause you can't change or fix someone, you gotta let him walk away. Don't go to a dry well looking for a drink, and never leave your wedding band too close to the kitchen sink. Things you learn the hard way, some lessons you can't teach until you're living through them. The wisdom's out of reach. Things you learn the hard way. Things you learn the hard way. When someone's trust is broken, it's not an easy thing to fix. And when Grandpa comes for dinner, Lord, don't bring up politics. Be sure to call your mama every Sunday after Mass. You won't be ready when you lose her, and it happens way too fast. Sometimes the deepest healing comes through the darkest night, and you can't believe how often now your mother's words were right. Things you learn the hard way, some lessons you can't teach until you're living through them. The wisdom's out of reach. Things you learn the hard way. Things you learn the hard way. You ain't never gonna forget the things you learn the hard way. Things you learn the hard way. Thank you.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Emily.
Thanks.
Yeah, I know that a lot of the songs on American Siren are about, they're meant to reach out to people who are having a difficult time, and there's a lot of loneliness, and thankfully not maybe quite as much in the world right now as there was a year ago at this time, where, people that were not in a position to have a partner or any kind of support system, man, that sucked for a long, long time. I'm wondering, are you, did this collection of songs spring out of you experiencing a lot of that stuff and the loneliness, or are you reaching out to other people and trying to help them, even though, I mean, do you have a good support system yourself, or did you experience a lot of that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was, Brandy Carlisle in her book talked about the great like serotonin crash that we all had, where like we as performers get so much energy and joy from performing for people in the same room, and when we couldn't do that for a while, it felt sort of like the center of my world dropped out, and the thing that I feel like I identify with the most being a performer, it's this act of service, it's this act of connection and love. It's my gift that I can give to the world, and not being able to do that was really, really hard. I wrote most of these songs during the pandemic, hanging out at home. This new record is a bit darker for me. It's a little bit more complex than my last one, because we all got to sit with ourselves for maybe a little too much time, and I really spent time kind of excavating the things that are easy to gloss over when you're running around busy. So that's not really a great lead-in to this next song, because this next song is like the brightest, most country song on the record. But this is the one I'm going to play next. This one is called Cheap Seats, and I wrote this after seeing John Prine and Bonnie Raitt play at the Ryman, and it was the fall of 2019, before we knew the world would shut down, and it was such a special moment, because I think it's important for you to see your heroes doing the thing that you love, the thing that you want to do. It's important to see your dream like made visible in the world, and watching them on that stage was like, I was like, that's it, that's what I want to do. And they're big heroes of mine. John, of course, passed about 6 months later from COVID, and then about a year after he passed, I signed a record deal with Oh Boy Records, with his family's label, with his label. And so it's all kind of come full circle for me. And I wrote this song before I ever knew any of that would happen. This is called Cheap Seats. Oh, I've been right where you are, putting miles on my car, driving to some dead-end job each day, smiling for my tips, picking up those extra shifts, waitressing all my best years away. Some nights I'll buy a ticket and sit alone in the mother church up in the highest row. I'm in the cheap seats, watching the big show, hoping that one day I'll look back and know that every big dream and every hard prayer and every long road would deliver me up there, singing for the cheap seats, singing for the cheap seats. Through a busy night, I get a song idea to write, and I slip out back to get the chorus down. Now table 28 is complaining about the wait, and my manager just shakes his head and frowns. I won't let them have the best of me. One day I'll quit this job and then they'll see. Cheap seats, watching the big show, hoping that one day I'll look back and know that every big dream and every hard prayer and every long road would deliver me up there, singing for the cheap seats, singing for the cheap seats. wasted. Want so badly just to make it. I got 1,000 songs inside me, left to right. Gotta find my voice and use it. Set true north and do not lose it. And keep that candle burning through the night. And I want everything before I'm ready. And it'll only come once I am standing steady. Here's to the cheap seats. Now I'm the big show. I wish I could go back and tell that girl what I know. That every big dream and every hard year and every long road will deliver me up here, singing for the cheap seats, singing for the cheap seats. Yeah, here's to the cheap seats. Yeah, here's to the cheap seats. Thank you.
Oh man, that sounds wonderful. How do you feel about the space itself, the way the echo is happening?
I love it. I love it so much. It's so great to be like in a big space, because when you're on a small stage, basically all you're doing is recreating with reverb and monitors what it feels like to be in a naturally live space, and so it's really awesome. It feels amazing.
Yeah, SweetWater has been cool, very cool to us. We've always felt welcome at this place, and what you were talking about earlier with the love and the service that you put in to what you do. I can identify with that. I love doing the video thing and chatting with artists and having these mini concerts. I absolutely love it. Yeah. That love is there in SweetWater too. You just look around and you can tell that a lot of care goes into what they do. I'm going to drink a beverage right this moment, as a matter of fact. The question here is that, so this that I'm having is the collaboration between them and Riff. So SweetWater Riff was a collaboration between two entities that clearly love what they do. I want to talk about the collaboration between you and Jason Richmond in particular on this record, and what that looks like. Producer is such a variable term from project to project. What does it actually look like when you and Jason get together to create?
Well, I think for us on this record, and this next song I'm going to play is kind of a good example. I wanted a producer who could push me creatively and break me a little bit out of my standard sort of country folk writing box, because I tend to write things pretty straight, and because I perform solo, I sort of write my rhythm section into my songs. So I wanted him to pull me out of my comfort zone a little bit and push me creatively, and somebody who really wanted to explore and experiment. So I think the new record that we made together is really kind of atmospheric and mystical, which I love. I love it so much. And this particular song, this next one I'm going to play, is called Lightning in a Bottle. And we actually tried to record it a completely different way, like super up tempo with a drum kit and like everything. And it just wasn't working. And I kept hitting this wall singing it. And then I realized that the song didn't really want to be an up-tempo song, and I had to respect the fact that I'd actually written a song that was bittersweet and a lot slower and more contemplative. And so it was the very last day of the studio time that we had, and we had to be out in like 3 hours, and we hadn't finished this song. And I was like, screw it, let's just do it solo. And Duncan Wickel played the cello underneath it. And so this is the very last song that we recorded for the album. And it's super stripped back. And so it was amazing working with Jason. Basically, you need somebody who's willing to walk into the dark woods creatively with you and experiment with things. That's how I see the producer-artist relationship.
And what a cool, the fact that Lightning in a Bottle was the song that you just said, well, let's just wing it and do the thing that we can do that's available to us. Lightning in a Bottle being just capturing a particular moment, and that happened to be the song where that totally worked on.
Totally, 100%.
That's cool.
So here it is. The summer that I turned 19 was 100 shades of green. Just wanted to be seen. Heavy like the air before it rains, clean like grass and summer sage. I lost track of all the days. Warm like the sunshine on the pines, fresh tomatoes off the vine, picking peaches for the pie. Cold like that first beer on my lips, and those midnight skinny dips. Careful like your kiss. Lightning in a bottle. If only I had known I'd be back here after 20 years, driving down this road, wondering where that girl has gone and how to bring her back. Missing life when it was easier, and love when it was magic. Dark like that trail through the woods, sneaking out late when we could. My hand in yours fit good. Bright like Venus on the rise in the early morning sky. I grew up that night. Breathless, heart pounding in my chest, I placed your hand upon my breast and surrendered to the rest. Lightning in a bottle. If only I had known I'd be back here after 20 years, driving down this road, wondering where that girl is gone and how to bring her back. Missing life when it was easier, and love when it was magic. And every dream I had back then is finally coming true. But last night I found the letter that I'd kept for years from you, and I wonder if I lost something somewhere along the way. I came back to find the piece of my heart buried in this place. Lightning in a bottle. If only I had known that summer flames burn out, so just enjoy the afterglow. Yeah. Time is touching all of us, and the years are coming fast. Missing life when it was easier, and love, oh love, lightning in a bottle. If only I had known I'd be back here after 20 years, driving down this road, wondering where that girl is gone and how to bring her back. Missing life when it was easier, and love when it was magic.
Thank you.
All right. Sounds wonderful. Thank you, Emily, for coming and doing this.
Thank you.
Especially, like we were saying earlier, on show day. So Eddie's Attic is this evening, and we've caught you right at the beginning of, there's like 20 dates between now and mid-December. So you've got...
Buddy, you're telling me.
Got your work cut out for you.
I'm going to need so much coffee. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm playing Greensboro, North Carolina, my hometown of origin, on November 13th. I'm playing Asheville on November 14th. I'm playing Nashville at the High Watt big album release party in Nashville on the 12th. November 12th, so I did all those dates backwards. And then I'm heading out to Denver, Colorado on the 17th, and then my hometown of Telluride on the 20th.
Nice. That'll be a fun one.
Yeah, check my website for tour dates, emilyscottrobinson.com, and I'm excited to see folks out on the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you crossed paths with Dar Williams before, or will this be your first meeting and tour experience
This
together?
will be my first time meeting Dar and touring, and I'm so excited. I'm a huge Dar Williams fan. Some of the very first songs I ever learned were Dar Williams songs, so I'm really excited about that tour.
Nice. Well, I'm happy for you, and that feels like another one of those full circle vibey kind of a thing. So that's awesome, man. It's a lot of fun, and we appreciate really very much what you're doing here today. And it's not yet. Excuse, I thought I could get that sentence out before coughing. And it's not yet over. There's still one more to be shared from American Siren.
Yeah.
What do you feel like doing last today?
Oh, I'm this is one of my favorite songs on the record, and somebody recently was listening to my record and said that that they felt like my record was about losing your religion and finding your faith. Mm-hmm.
Well done. That's a nice turn of phrase.
And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. And so this is my hymn to that. This is Every Day in Faith. Every day in faith I came. Every day in faith I came. And by some miracle beyond me, I found my way. 'Cause every day in faith I came. Some lessons, they were hard to learn. Some lessons, they were hard to learn. And I thank my darkest teachers for the scars that I have earned. Some lessons, they were hard to learn. If I'd seen the hills and valleys on the road, if I'd seen the hills and valleys on the road, I might have never had the courage to pack my bags and go. If I'd seen the hills and valleys on the road. I love you, and I swear I always will. I love you, and I swear I always will. I see you cross a crowded room, my heart it quickens still. I love you, I swear I always will. 'Cause every day in faith I came. Every day in faith I came. And by some miracle beyond me, I found my way. 'Cause every day in faith I came. And by some miracle beyond me, I found my way. 'Cause every day in faith I came. Ooh, every day in faith I came. Thank you.
All right. Emily, thank you so much for doing this, and
Thanks
I
for
know you got to
having
be
me.
on your way. Eddie's attic load-in is like now, so so
my
thanks for
Lord.
doing this very much,
Thank
and
you.
travel safely, please, between all those dates, and we
Thank
will
you.
catch up with you next time on the next record. Most likely, we'll see you in a year somewhere equally awesome.
That sounds great. Another brewery somewhere.
Indeed. All right, in Asheville.
Thanks,
Let's do it in
guys.
Asheville at a brewery
Yeah, that
there.
sounds amazing.
Done.
Perfect.
Done.
Thank you so much.
All right, have a great show tonight.
Thanks.